Well, greetings YouTube. As promised in the Resident Evil Retribution trailer reaction video, yeah, that's a long name. I do have some big news regarding the channel, or at least, well, for me personally, and the big news is I am joining the U.S. Armed Forces as, more specifically, the Army, which means I'm going off the basic at the end of this month. Literally the 31st. That's like a week and a half from the time I'm recording this video. Obviously, when I'm off at basic, I cannot be doing videos because I won't have access to a computer like I do here to, edit my own videos. I won't be able to take my own computer. I don't know how they might have you be able to check email and stuff while you're there, but I don't know. So obviously, this is going to affect for the next 3 months. Basically, boot camp is, or basic as it's in the Army, is covers about 2.5 to 3 months. So obviously not going to be seeing movies, playing games, or speculating on trailers and stuff during that time. I mean, for ship out dates and stuff, this is actually probably the best time to go because nothing else is, nothing is done in between February and May. So I get out just in time for summer and all that fun stuff. Which, by the way, don't ask me exactly what my job is, or as it's called, MOS. Not that I'm pretty sure I could openly say what it is, but I'm just being ultra paranoid because it's a pretty sweet gig I got lined up, and I don't want to ruin it by kind of blabbing out to everybody what I have. Once I get more settled in, I'll know whether it's oh yeah, you can tell everyone you want what you are. So don't ask exactly what I do. It's nothing big. I mean, I could probably give you a little bit of a hint. I'm going out to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, to do my basics. So yeah, that means I'm not combat arms. For those of you, i.e., I'm not a person you're going to expect to see on the front lines. I mean, I obviously still have to learn all that stuff, but it's a support. It's a support position, or it's not as it's done in the military. It's not combat arms. I don't know if it's necessarily support, but yeah, it's a sign of the economy. I know I've somewhat hinted in some of the videos, kind of complain about not finding a real job or anything like that. And believe me, I got degrees. I got degrees with magna cum laude on them. And right now, ain't nobody hiring. Unless you kind of have that personal connection, or you just happen to luck out and get that job that they need somebody and you're the perfect fit. If you kind of just had the education but don't have the experience right now, it's rather kind of hard to get a decent job. So yeah, I go in. I'm a specialist in the Army. We'll see how this all turns out. Once I'm done, I either decide to do a career out of it, or I decide to take my experience, my clearances, and my skills that they're going to give me and go into the civilian sector and combine that with my degrees, and then I should be rather monstrous in my application. But yeah, and if anyone's in a similar situation as me, graduated, not finding anything, don't not consider the Army. I will say this, I originally was an officer candidate, but I was told after passing the selection board, actually, we got word back that they're just not looking at any applicants now for about a year, and I'm saying this as of January 2011, so things could change in the future. But not even being looked at for a year, that's not even when that's when they look at you and go, okay, I guess we'll take him. You're shipping out in 9 months. So you could be looking at, well over a year and a half to 2 years before you'd actually wind up going. So I decided to do the enlistment option, and once I get in, we'll maneuver around with that. But if you're in a similar situation, don't not consider the military, man. If it's because you're not having the experience, you can get in and you get your experience. And then right now it's stable. It's getting harder to get in because they are cutting the budget down. From what I kind of just squeaked into the job I got because it was closing up fast, because apparently I'm guessing this is what happened. They probably cut out the number of positions they were going to fill, because I think the Army is cutting between 50 and 100,000 troops. I forget if the 50 is just the Army or 100,000 is for the entire entire military. I'm pretty certain I heard that they were cutting out troops from many of the branches are cutting down their size. So it's a little tighter, but if you have if you're like me, you have college degrees, you have a clean record and all that stuff, you should still be able to get in. But yeah, now obviously also once I get deployed, or well, not deployed, but once I'm done with basic, it's still a little up in the air because I'll be going to another base for my job training out in California. Which, being out in California itself, obviously wouldn't affect the site, or the channel. But I don't know how intensive it's going to be. I don't know how. I know it's a long training process I have for the exact job I got. So it's going to be. I think from when you first get there, they're rather restricted for what you can have in your barracks, and then as you move up, as you're there for a little bit longer and you continue to train, you move from like more restricted barracks to loosening the standards, and I think by the end they kind of let you like live in regular on-base housing. So it could be more than those 3 months. We could easily be a half a year before I wind up putting out a new video, if by then I haven't like completely forgotten about YouTube. Well, not forgotten about YouTube, but like kind of lost the desire to make videos. It could be shorter than that. I could arrive and they go, oh yeah. Once you're done with your training for the day, you're free to do whatever you want. Yeah, bring your computer, write up stuff. If that's the case, then you'll probably see me because I won't have much else to do at first. I could also wind up, since I'll have a nice stable pay, and might actually go out and be doing things. I won't be sitting around the house wanting to bored and deciding to make videos. Alternatively, that's bad things. More positively, I'll have the stable paycheck. We might turn this. I might get higher quality stuff, much higher quality microphone, possibly digital camera, so we'll actually have video. Maybe some more software that I can actually edit videos, edit a review. Put some higher quality into this. Even spending the $30 and getting Pamela for Skype, which is probably the simplest way to record a Skype call, in an MP3 format. And if that's the case, hey, then we can have some actual guests speaking on here. Not guests, but I can do the reviews with people, because I will gladly admit this, as me just kind of going onto a podcast completely by myself, I'm fairly weak at it. I know I'm going to be best at doing this if I have like a co-host. I'm not putting out a call for a co-host, guys, but I know I would probably be best with a co-host. And you can probably tell I have a lot of pauses in my speech, which is great for someone if you're going to work as a co-host with somebody, because having those natural pauses gives a natural points for a co-host or somebody else to start talking themselves. So those are ideally, it could go that the channel kind of dies out and fades away, or we could expand. As the channel might expand, we might get higher quality videos. I might try to do reviews, kind of like in the Spoonie or Nostalgia Critic, because I do have a collection here of really bad kung fu movies. Actually, not like kung fu movies as in like from Hong Kong cinema, like really bad knockoff versions. So, with a little bit more money and a little bit more time, nice Adobe Premiere and stuff to edit stuff, you might see me actually try to do one of those type of reviews. And believe me, I have some ridiculous films here that I know no one else has touched. Hell, even I got the one movie that I know is in the opening credits for Kung Tai Ted on the Cinema Snob. But he hasn't reviewed it itself. He hasn't done Angel Fist, and that has some stuff you can easily make fun of. But I am digressing. Yeah, I am joining in the military, so obviously some changes. This could be the end of the site. I will still be doing this weekend. The last video, probably before I go, will be a review of the new Underworld movie. I do plan on seeing that before I leave. Alternatively, I forgot to mention this. The site also might stay the same. I still might just go after I go see a movie, come back, record my thoughts on it, and post it up on YouTube. We could still have that, especially since I will be out of basic by the start of the summer movie season. I think I'm gonna miss like the March movies, but when it comes to May and all the big ones, I should be free enough at that point. Because really, after you get out of basic, the military turns somewhat into like a regular job, and that's not just BS that the recruiter kind of tells me. I've known enough people that are in the service to know that, yeah, once you're done with basic and you got your job training, it's just a regular job. A regular job that occasionally you have to go and you have to. It's kind of like being a cop. Yeah, you have physical requirements you have to continue to maintain. You got to go do like training, like shooting ranges and other stuff. But for the most part, it's like a regular job. You have to wear a uniform. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Like I said, it's a point in the future. Things will happen. Hopefully, I will be happy with it. I should be happy. I'm kind of actually very comfortable with doing this. I'm rather a natural fit. On the plus side, though, guys, I will now have some legitimacy in complaining when stuff's not military accurate. Because I know one of my earliest videos in Battle ALA, kind of people ripped into me for not knowing stuff, although a lot of the stuff they ripped in was just plain stupid. Like, oh, they're called camis in the Marines. Well, I was talking with several Marines, and they just called them uniforms, or camouflage. But I digress on that. So wish me luck. Hopefully we'll be back. Oh, like I said, I'll be back for the Underworld video, but I wanted to make a separate video more for the people that do subscribe and are kind of wondering, like if you send me a comment and you're not seeing a response to that comment, if it's for the next 3 months, I'm obviously not going to be seeing that comment, period. And probably by the time I get back, it's going to be so old I'm not going to even bother. Unless it's like really crazy, but even then. Or if you're joining the site new and you're kind of wondering why is he not making new videos, keep me subscribed until at least May or June, because I could easily come back. Like I said, it's a bit of a toss-up when I'm even done with basic how much computer access I'm going to have at first. They might restrict you a little bit because a lot of the people, fortunately, because you go in with a lot of people. This is they're fresh out of high school, first time they've ever been alone, so you're kind of thrown in and treated as the same as them in order for them to play it safe. And they're much more controlling of them over the first couple months. Possibly because I'm going in as an E4 specialist, I will maybe they will accelerate that a bit, but I'm not counting on that. Accelerating you kind of living off on your own, because I've done that in college. But I digress. I should have some fun. I'll at least get to shoot some guns and stuff occasionally. Alright, signing off for now, guys. Like I said, not permanently. Hopefully not permanently. Bye.